All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikak Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers out there on the highways and byways. Teach 100% truth. This title going to be called A Time of War. Because we in a time of war right now. You know, like the scriptures say, a time of war. You know, time for peace and time for love, time for hate. You know, but we in a time of war. You know, let me go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking to the elect. Letting us know that we're gonna hear wars and rumors of war, which we hear now. No? And like he said, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And all these things must come to pass, and the end is not yet. Because the end will be when Esau, so-called white man, pushed this charagma, and two-thirds of our people take this charagma and get destroyed by nuclear destruction. No, that's when the end gonna be. That final end gonna be that nuclear missile. No, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in divers places. And all these are the beginning of sorrow. And yes, nations and it said nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's going on now with the Russians, Ukraine, you know, Babylon the Great is getting in the mix. No, all these is Bible prophecies that got to come to, that's going to come to pass. No, and like Yahweh shall say, all these is the beginning of sorrow. It's just the beginning of the things that going to come upon Babylon the Great, aka America. Let me go to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 3, verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And we're in a time of hate and war. No, we're in them times right now, hate and war. No, you know, two-thirds of our people, they don't even see the times we in. We're in the war time. We hating. Other kingdoms and nations is hating on each other. No, we in them times. No, and we in the knowing, we love it. No, we love this because we know this is about Bible prophecies that's coming to pass. No, because two-thirds of our people, they can't see these Bible prophecy that's coming to pass each and every day. Say a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And we not in a time of love or peace. No. No, we're in a time of love and peace amongst our brethren, but it ain't gonna be no time of love and peace upon Babylon the Great, aka America. No. It's a time for hate and war against Babylon the Great, aka America. Let me go to Revelation. Revelation chapter 19. Short lesson. Chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doeth judge and make war. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai, when this war kicked off, is his doing, because this place Babylon the Great is wicked, is wicked. That's why he gonna bring judgment, righteous judgment on this place. No, Babylon the Great, aka America. No, that's why these nations they gathering together right now for that great day of destruction on Babylon the Great, aka America. No, And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he's controlling them. No, he already got the time set when these other nations ready to push will put bend that bow and shoot them arrows. No, he got the time set for them to do that. That's why we, the hopeful elect, we sitting back and watching, and we pray that the prophecy comes speedily. Let me go to Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50. Chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 29. It said, Salaki, let me start at verse 28. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. And Yahweh Shemashah, he bringing vengeance upon this place because the way they treated the children of Israel, starting with their elect. No. Verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp around it, camp against it around about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she have done. Do unto her, for she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. And that's what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he's doing. He's causing these nations to gather together round about Babylon the Great. No, because Babylon the Great is proud. No, they Babylon the Great, aka America, they putting sanction on these other nations, trying to tell them what to do. No, and these other nations is getting fed up with that. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he's stirring these nations up. Now these other nations is getting together and sharing missiles. No, sharing these arrows, these special arrows. No. Is it called together the archers against Babylon? The archers are these other nations, no, that got these arrows that go shoot upon Babylon the Great, aka America. And these arrows got fire behind it. And when they hit, it's gonna be a big explosion. No. That's that lake of fire that John seen in Revelation. Babylon the Great burning. And all ye that bend the bow camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. And yes, Babylon the Great been proud against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Even 2/3 of our people. No, because they believe in Babylon the Great. They believe in this wicked place. Let me jump down to same book. Let me jump down to verse 35. A sword is upon the Chaldees, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her prince, and upon her wise men. A sword is like they say right here. A sword is upon the Chaldees, and the Chaldees is Esau, the so-called white man, Babylon the Great, aka America. A sword. That sword is that nuclear missile, no, which these nations are gathering up together and getting ready for this beautiful war that's gonna take place. No, they're gonna shoot missiles over here in Babylon the Great. And say, sword is upon the Chaldees, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her prince, and upon her wise men. And that sword is upon the inhabitants of Babylon. The inhabitants are these other nations that is dwelling in Babylon the Great, and 2/3 of our people. No, because they are wicked. They doing wickedness in Babylon the Great. No, they committing wickedness after wickedness, sin upon sin. Verse 36. A sword is upon the liar, and they shall dot. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. And the sword is upon the liar, and who the liar? Esau, the so-called white man. He's the liar. He's the deceiver. He's the devil that he's deceived the whole planet, whole earth. He deceived. He's that liar. No. So as a sword has come upon him, is in the process of coming upon him. No. And to say, a sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. And to say her, talking about Babylon the Great, that great whore. No, they're gonna be dismayed. And this what what Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, he promoting destruction upon Babylon the Great, and he gonna bring it. No, let me go to I'm stay in the same book. Let me go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Chapter 51, verse 29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolate without an inhabitant. And that's that nuclear missile that these other nations gonna shoot over here in Babylon the Great. There's nothing gonna live in no more, and nothing gonna inhabit this place no more. No, they're gonna be laid desolate, waste. No. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, he's gonna do that. He gonna control these missiles, so they won't miss their target. He gonna be in these missiles. He gonna be controlling these missiles. Let me go to let me jump back. Let me jump up some. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And like he say right here, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem shall say, I will rise up against Babylon. And who he gonna rise up against Babylon? These other nations, these missiles. No, with these other missiles, these other nations got these nuclear missiles that gonna burn Babylon the Great. And against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And that these missiles, it got a destroying wind on it, because when they hit, and that wind gonna come in the fire. No. Verse 2, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And that's these other nations. They're gonna be against Babylon the Great. Round about, they're gonna be against them. When Babylon the Great, aka America, continue to put sanction on these other countries or nations, these other they getting tired of that. They're gonna start pushing these buttons. They're gonna pull that bow back and let that arrow go. No. Verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lift himself up in his bridle, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. And that's what these missiles gonna do. Anybody that's left on him on Babylon the Great soil, they're going to be destroyed by nuclear destruction. That's that lake of fire, what John seen. Verse 4, thus the slay shall fall in the hand of the Chaldees, and they that are thrust through in her streets, and they that are thrust through in the streets. Verse 5, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. And yes, the land was filled with sin. Babylon the Great, aka America. No. Verse 6, flee out the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord vengeance. And this, like the title is called, Time of War. This is the time of the Lord's vengeance. This World War III. This is the time of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua vengeance that he gonna bring upon Babylon the Great, aka America. He will render unto her a recompense. He gonna pay her back for all her wickedness they committed. Verse 7, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, and the other nations had drunken her wine. Her wine is that philosophy, how to live that Babylon the Great lifestyle. No, these other nations. No, philosophy. No, all the nations are drunken that wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And see, the nations are mad at Babylon the Great, aka America. They are mad because Babylon the Great, aka America, is putting sanction on them. They thought America was for them. No. But now they see that Babylon the Great is that whore, that great whore that sit on many waters. No. Always in everybody's business. No. So that's why the nations are mad, because they putting sanction on them, tell them they can't do this, they can't do that. No. So these nations gonna get tired of it, and they're gonna bend that bow, and they're gonna let that arrow out, let that arrow go. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly